talking about taxes in a different language. It could be English, it could be French. And as you know, I mean, here from my accent, I'm an Italian native speaker. It takes a lot of practice and effort, believe me. But regardless of the years of studying, very often people come up with a very common, straightforward question after I've tried my best at the first attempt. Like, I'm sorry, that doesn't make sense to me. Can you please try to explain again? That happens very often. Why that? Well, there must be a good reason. Italian laws and regulations are made to work here and now in Italy because they feed the local needs of working with other rules actually into play. So from a foreign perspective, or even worse, from an international point of view, many of them could sound useless or even obvious. For example, here in Italy, the majority of the professionals pay their taxes on the cash basis principle. So you don't pay based on how much you invoice your clients for, but on how much you get paid for, taking basically your bank statement as the main document, as the main resource. And second, if you really suffer some, let's say, withholding taxes from your employer in the other country or a client, it could be Italian based or overseas, by the way, you can use that amount as a discount against the total due here in Italy. You will never pay twice as much. That's the goal. Likewise, if you or your employer paid some pension contributions in another country, you have the right to claim that amount as deduction against the tax basis here in Italy. So as you can see, I'm talking about the Italian Revenue Agency now. They tried their best to make the rules flow in a certain way, something you can find, let's say, logical and easy to learn. The big problem comes when they complicate things by applying timing and percentages. I'm thinking of medical expenses, for example, where you can use just up to 19% of the cost incurred as deductions, or home improvements, where they apply a certain percentage. It could be 50%, 65, whatever. That gives you a credit to split in 10 rounds in 10 years. Or credit given to tenants who pay a mid-long-term lease, they can offset a certain amount, but just based on their net income. So if you're making, let's say, more than 100,000 per year, more likely there is nothing left for you. If you have a business or you're a freelancer, yes, there is a very long list of items and expenses you may offset, but once again, they put percentages and caps for everything. So the message here is to first understand how the game works, and then only after spending enough time on that, try to debate on what is fair or not, what makes sense to you as a tax benefit, as a rule, as a requirement, and what doesn't. One of the biggest mistake that I see over and over an expert can make is to base assumptions on what he thinks is right. And following this logic, also assuming that if someone with a very similar case used a certain law, tax break or incentive, you're allowed to go the same path. Before jumping on your seat, thinking like, oh, I already know taxes in Italy are damn high, give it a shot. Numbers wise. Maybe it's just the opposite. And maybe moving to Italy can really save your money. Or do you judge the books by their covers?